Yo, good morning. How's it going? So a lot's been going on since we last talked. Well, honestly, it's been pretty chaotic. Like a lot has kind of gone on, a lot of thrash. So I'll kind of explain that right now. But I know you have some questions. One, where am I? And two, what happened to my left hand? Thankfully, this is from a new set of gloves. So that's what happened to this. This one's an older glove. That's fine. As for where I am, I'm in my living room. But the next bit of this, I kind of got to go over like a conversation I had with myself maybe like a day or two after the last video. And I'm going to just sum it up like this. Hey man, we kind of need to have a talk, right? Hey, I'm like super busy doing some engineering stuff right now, and I couldn't make time possibly. It just couldn't happen. I'm sorry. Look, I'll turn the power off to the house if we don't make time for this. Like I know where the circuit breaker is. Hey, no need to be so hostile. We can have a talk now, and we can sort it out. Whatever it is, I'm sure it's pretty quick, right? Yeah, here's the deal. You're an okay engineer, got a bunch of different engineering skills, but like you're taking a long time to make money. And this is a business, right? We can't just spend money constantly without returns. It's not how this works, okay? And I know you've tried a few things recently to speed up that process, but the things that you keep trying to do require lots of money to get done in lots of time. And I know you're going to drive it all the way, but there's no reason to eat our runway up on something before getting experience in return, right? If we can cook something up in the intermediate time, right, like now, to make money and gain experience while you're working on those tool and die making skills, we're gonna have a better time. Yeah, about that. I kind of need like another $2,000 or so for some material stuff. Now I know before you freak out, like if we were just gonna buy this, it would be like $15,000 to $20,000. I only need $2,000 in a couple of days. That's all I'm asking for, man. See, that's kind of my point. like, like we gotta make money. You can't just spend money all the time on stuff and then not make money. So let's sit down for a second and kind of talk over what kind of things we really can build in between now and a couple of weeks from now and sell it in between then, and then make it so it could actually be manufactured without thousands of dollars, right? Or at least tens of thousands of dollars. A couple $1,000s, not so bad, but tens of thousands of dollars, bad right now. We don't want to do that. Right. So thankfully, even though you've harassed me, I've learned quite a lot of stuff in the last bit, and I've kind of been holding on to some things that are probably pretty easy to make. So how about I go spin up a bunch of small projects, work them all around the same time, and I'm just gonna pivot. Anytime I run into something that's real blocker, I'm not gonna spend weeks trying to resolve it. I'm just gonna pivot. Right? Does that sound like a deal? I mean, it sounds crazy and chaotic, but sure, why not? Like, if it's only going to take you a couple of weeks to go through this, and, maybe inside of a week we'll have a working demo of one of these 4 or 5 different things, that sounds pretty reasonable. Then maybe we can, like, post it up online, see if it sells. Then I have to invest, months and months and months in the project. I can get some immediate feedback about what works, and we'll only do projects that, we could conceivably spin up with the current tooling we have, right? It doesn't have to be something that I can't manufacture currently. It needs to be something that I know how to make right now and can scale, okay? I mean, I really would rather just, engineer and work on my tool and die making, right? But sure, if you say we need money or something or business experience, sure, I guess we could do that. So I know you're like, Johnny, that's like basic common sense, right? But here's the deal. I'm an engineer much more than a business person. I just am. I am really attached to these projects, and I put a lot of time into them. So you basically had to like rip my hands off the steering wheel because I'm driving it all the way in, right? But I want to make certain that I've got room to flex, right? So if I, run this for another 3 months and I take those products into market, right? But then I have trouble with the marketing, I have trouble with manufacturing, I have trouble with getting supply lines set up, I have trouble with business paperwork because I'll be setting up like a small factory. Any of these things, like employing people, stuff like that, any number of them could go differently than I expect, and I have to stop and flex, and then I've got probably started taking on more expenses, so like I really need to kind of start that process earlier, right? So that means taking a product that is comparatively much simpler to make, right? Still something you definitely need some time and investment to be able to make, but isn't at the same level of blockers that I've been hitting, because I've been kind of hitting the same blockers, just pivoting around them. And I'm making progress. I've learned quite a lot, which is great, but like, I need to go make money. I need to get this experience. That's causing me to shift. So, I'm talking about like vague stuff, and I'll kind of explain that, why I'm not so specific at this point. When I'm just making like one product, I feel a little bit more comfortable telling people like, hey, I am doing this, right? But if I've got like 4 or 5 products I'm trying to like test out, all of the products I think are good, right? And if I'm only going to have time to bring one quickly into market, that means that these other ones will take some time to get there, right? And after kind of like publicizing it, it puts me in a spot where I potentially could have someone try to run my idea before I have time to like put it out there fully. So that's kind of like a conflict that I'm trying to dance around. That being said, the thing that I'm touching a number of things. The thing that I'm currently progressing on is going smoothly. It's something I understand extremely well. Like, I've built much more complicated versions of this. I mean, it's different. I haven't built this exact same thing, but like the underlying like mechanisms, electronics, coding, I understand very well. So it's not something that, I predict to have issues in that part of it, right? There's still some material selection stuff. I'm having a little bit of trouble, but I know there are products that have the right products, or have products that have the right properties. I just need to find them. So I'm testing a bunch of stuff. So very likely in this next video, I'll have a prototype of a brand new product that I can actually produce in a reasonable amount of time. I'll hold on to it for a bit and test it, and then the plan is to go, try to sell it, right? The only reason I'm holding on to it is, I guess, just kind of tell you where I'm at. Some of y'all know me pretty well. Some of y'all are actually related to me, and family and friends and stuff. But I had the great opportunity to grow up, kind of working. My parents had small businesses, so I'd work with them in the summer, get some experience, sometimes outside of the summer or whatever. And I have a very strong guide about how I provide value to other people. I do not want to sell something that isn't living up to a standard, right? That isn't something that I wouldn't want to buy myself. So there's just a little bit of QC, or quality control, that I want to do, where after I've made it and prototyped it, that I keep it running for X amount of time. So I've got some idea that it will be reliable for the person that buys it. Yeah, it's inconvenient for me at the current moment, but I don't know. I feel like that is only the good and reasonable thing to do, even if it's kind of imprudent for trying to like rush down timelines. But it is what it is. It'll get stacked out one at a time, get down the line, and I'll get this product or one of these prototypes sold, right? And then from there, I can kind of start spinning up the business infrastructure and skill sets that I haven't had a lot of time to really focus on. I know it was a lot and very abstract. I touched some things. I might throw some bonus footage around here, but it'll probably slide into the next week. So next week will probably be pretty eventful. Like I said, personally, it's chaotic because I'm touching a whole bunch of stuff and things are changing, and I'm like flexing and like really spending time on the business part of it. And like I said, I'm really an engineer. I love engineering a lot, but I have to, if I'm going to make a business, I have to spend some of this business time. But yeah, basically that's it. I hope everyone's been really well, and next week I'll probably have something a little bit cooler to show. So anyways, hope you have a good one. Peace.